What's going on, guys? Today on this SHOKY Quickie, we're going to be taking a look at something new from the Bandai Time Machine Nation's FiguartsZEro Demon Slayer line. I don't actually know the Japanese name for Demon Slayer. Is it Kimetsu no Yaiba? I think that's what it is. Kimetsu no Yaiba. Either way, this is one of their new statues slash figures, however you want to call it. This is Figuarts, but it's not a figure. And it is the Demon AKAZA, or AKAZA. And here at the box, looks really nice. You got a nice image of the actual statue right there. You do have the official Time Machine Nation holographic dealy-hoo there. I'm sure plenty of people have found a way to copy that by now. So they have to work on their KO game, realistically. All right, nice little corner wrap around here. You got some cool gold flaky stuff happening around there. You got AKAZA upper 3. One of the tougher demons, technically speaking. And if you come around here, you get the scene from the movie, more or less, from that. I lowered a little too far. And you got all the warnings here, which is interesting because it's all in Japanese, and I'm not. And then you get the actual bluefin once it comes to America sticker. And then right there, just like, you know, everybody else sees on the Gundam channel, you get the little guy with the toilet right there. You got the PET and PE. That's the types of plastic. And come around here, get another shot of the same thing. Come to the top, and you have a nice little window so you can look down into it. So I'm glad that Bandai at least doesn't care about making packaging that's good for the environment or something, blah, 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 blah. Climate change. And then you come to the bottom, which is interesting. You get a whole thing. So you can actually put this thing on a shelf to sell it, more or less, in a bunch of different positions. In fact, you could probably just have it like that and easily could sell it. You know, go to any cool Japanese, Asian stores or whatnot and buy cool things. Just dropped it. All right. So here he actually is on the turntable, which you guys know what that means. Turntable time. And let's see here. Boot. And yeah, so it's kind of funny. So they actually do mold a good bit of it in translucent, all of this extra bit here, which is meant to be a dust cloud. But the funny thing is, you know, there are rocks also in it, you know, from this battle. A lot of crazy stuff was happening. Nicely painted stuff here. And then you have the figure up there. Now, the thing is, in the movie, this was a super important scene because they had just gotten done dealing with the demon inside the train itself. And then all of a sudden, after that ridiculous battle and massive train accident, if we're honest, another demon comes out of nowhere that is super powerful to fight Rengoku. And, well, things happen, you know, they engage in battle. And, you know, that was obviously him. And he does feature in the latest season that was released at least a couple times. He does pop up. And I believe, I could be wrong, I think he may or may not get a slight power boost. I'm trying to remember. It's been a little bit since I've watched that season. I do know that he does come back to the demon boss, as it were, and to report what happened. Now, the one thing that we're sort of missing is that he would have Tanjiro's sword through his chest, because he threw that at him later on. But like his speed, his power, his healing ability was all insane in the movie. And I like that we get some effect parts down here in the actual dust from whenever he's doing his attacks, because he has almost like, he has taijutsu attacks essentially, but they're sort of elemental. You can punch with the air, you can do all kinds of other crap. It's pretty crazy, very ninja like. And of course he's fighting Rengoku, who has a sword and is human. So, all right, let's get it off here and we'll look at it closer. All right, so here it is up close, and we do have the very interesting, like, pink painted hair. You know, actually sort of reminds me of Tanjiro and his family. You know, they have the kind of fiery red hair, but it's pink in this case. Not a lot of shading going on there. There is some, like, right down the middle there. A little bit of low lights, as it were, but not a whole lot going on there. And then he does have some molded in sort of stripes, but then that, whatever that symbol is, maybe that's 3. I don't know exactly what's going on there. He does have these stripes all along his body, which I think is kind of a chakra situation almost. I'm not sure. They got a little bit out of alignment here with their tampos or their masking, whatever. However they actually do this. Whether it's tampoed on or it's masked over, because you got some spots here, not so great. So Bandai slipping a little bit there. He does have these tassels hanging down, which are painted very nicely. This one's actually got some shading on it, which is pretty cool. I couldn't even think about the process that goes into this. Speaking of tampos, you can look at his eyes there. And he's got the upper 3 symbols in his eyes. Of course, the eyebrows and eyelashes, which are also insane, are tampoed on with that. You got the fingers here that are painted with the fingernails painted orange, just like whatever. He does have kind of the twisting effect there as he's gonna punch Rengoku. And look at him, abs. Could have put a wash in there, I think. Made those abs stand out just a little bit more. They did kind of a nice airbrushing on the pants, though. You got a nice crease down the middle. And yes, he is jumping at this point. He does have the big beads around the ankles. His toes are painted, same as his fingers. And then you have the cool, like, energy effect coming out of the ground where he's jumped from. And that's pretty neat because he kind of propels himself just with energy, which is different. And you do have rocks painted in here on the translucent parts. Airbrushed fairly nicely. Some light, just a little bit of light getting through there, but it does still gather the effect. I digs it. I mean, you come around here. I mean, it's very similar to like Gaara's sand and the Naruto statues we've looked at, And it's actually very cool. Now, originally, whenever we looked at the Rengoku statue not long ago, I said that they would dock together kind of in the fight formation from the movie. I was looking at the base here, thinking that that's how it would work, that it would work a lot like the Kizuna relation statues. And let's bring in Rengoku here, and I do include the bloody face because this is right near the end of the battle. And I thought that with the way these flames were cut out, that's where we were getting, but I was wrong. So there's just no way. However, you can get them really kind of close together, like either like this or sort of have them go past each other just a little bit, like he's missing them. But realistically, you want it to be like that. Now, I'm worried that that's not going to fit on the shelf that way. I'm going to have to figure that out. Because if this was set back further and then this base went a little further in, it'd be cool. So like some of them, like the Tanjiro and Nezuko that we looked at not long ago, really are meant to fit together. These two, while the statues are meant to offset one another because they're literally supposed to be in the middle of this battle, the actual bases don't interact like I would hope they would, because that's the way it looks like it should do. But and the shelf only has so much space, so I got to check and see if it'll fit, and I'll do that before the end of this video. But I mean, as the battle goes, they look great together. I mean, you could make it just a little bit tight so his hand goes past there because he was trying to punch him. So I mean, that still works. It looks better if you kind of try to center it in the camera. And it will look good on the shelf regardless. And I do have the newer version of Zenitsu coming eventually. I just ordered Kanao. That's supposed to go with the first like little chibi version of Nezuko. Because I thought it went with that first version of Tanjiro. It does not. So the funny thing is we never got the first demon that they fought, the spider guy. Actually, that's technically the second demon. The first one they fought was the one with the drums. That's how he met Inosuke in the first place. So we're still missing characters from this particular line. They do also have the, if I hadn't said anything, I would remember his name, Tengen Uzui. So his statue is currently out, and I think they're going to have that next to whichever one of the demons he's fighting in that moment. So that would be pretty cool. It would be nice if they gave us statues that would fit the different sagas that have come out so far. Obviously, movie here, because we didn't see Rengoku anywhere else, realistically, outside of the Mugen Train arc. And then Tengen will be, well, he's in the, what do they call it? Entertainment District arc. So we're getting different Hashira as it goes. So either way, these look good together. I'm gonna put them on the shelf and see how that works out. And I underestimated it. It actually does look really good. Probably just like tweak it a little bit, just to get the positions a little bit nicer, something like that. Yeah, obviously there's no lighting up here yet, just yet, you know. And then the weird thing is like we got obviously War Greymon doesn't hang out here, but you know, we got I just said his name. Why am I got Zenitsu. I remember Zenitsu, and then I forget our other friend there. So I have to figure out the spacing for all the statues because I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do them in the future. Obviously, War Greymon just chilling out there for now. Nothing to do with this, but either way, it's a good statue. A little bit sloppy on the paint this time. Just a couple misses here and there. It's kind of a bummer that it didn't make it to where it fully integrates with the Rengoku statue, but at least it gets close enough for, you know, to have on a good display. Now, mind you, I have a very small shelf for it, but, you know, ultimately, if you just had whatever, you could make it work. And it will definitely work better once the lighting is installed in that Billy. So, you know, it's just going to come down to what's displayed where, how many more Demon Slayer statues we've got coming out, and, you know, how I have to organize things. So, like I'm going to have 2 Zenitsus. I don't need 2 Zenitsus. So, or maybe if they give us another Inosuke, that maybe that will go with the new Zenitsu, and I can put the old 2 together, which was the original plan, actually. So that's the hard part, is that I don't have all the statues lined up, so I can't make the final plan for the lighting on my shelf. But as it goes, I'm glad to have these 2 together. It's pretty awesome. So, but guys, give me a thumbs up. Go watch the rest of the FiguartsZERO statue reviews in the playlist. And of course, subscribe, because we're so close to hitting 500 subscribers, so that I can at least have a community tab. That'd be great. You know, I would love to be able to get to 1,000. Still a long way off, and I don't do enough on this channel. I do have more reviews coming up, at least from NECA and a few other things. So if you're enjoying the content, leave me a comment down below. And of course, like I said, subscribe if you are new here. But I will see you guys later. Remember, as always, keep on nerding.